Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday as you are listening to the show today. It is The Valley Business Today. We have pre-recorded our conversation over Zoom with Edie from the Luray Page Chamber of Commerce. And Edie, we're talking all kinds of business stuff today.
Yes, so we are gearing up for Small Business Saturday. It's about a month and a half away. We have some pretty cool stuff planned. We've partnered with the 3 towns in the county as well as the county itself.
And I would guess that makes it a little bit more complicated for you as a chamber, because you do have all 3 of those towns within your chamber that you want to make sure you give equal promotion to, that you have to coordinate who's doing what. I mean, it's got to make it a little more complicated for you than it does some of these other chambers that just have one county or one town to deal with.
Yeah, so it does. It puts a little more work on us, but honestly, the towns are all really good about sending us their events, sending us their information on deals that they know are going on. And it helps that, the county itself advertises, LDI, the town of Luray, all the towns advertise themselves as well. So if we miss something, at least they are able to get it out there.
And I think sometimes people forget that even though Small Business Saturday, and just so to be clear, Small Business Saturday is always the Saturday after Thanksgiving. But that doesn't mean you wait until the week before Thanksgiving to start figuring out what you're going to do and what planning you're doing. You said a minute ago, we're a month and a half out and you guys are already putting plans in place.
Oh, yeah. So for something like Small Business Saturday, especially since we have to coordinate with so many different people, we try to start as early as possible. It's an American Express program, so we're kind of at their mercy until they release the information. But as soon as we get that info, we hit the ground running.
And they give you some cool swag and stuff, or they have in years past. Do they still do that, where they send you like the canvas shopping bags and posters and flyers and things like that?
So typically they would do that. I am not sure if they're doing that this year with the pandemic and everything. A lot of places are doing Small Business Saturday online and doing it virtually, but we are doing a hybrid. So you can shop to win prizes. Typically you'd have to drop off like a bingo card, but this year we're doing that option as well as, taking photos while you shop, taking a screenshot if you buy something on your phone. That way people can participate but not have to go out into public if they don't feel comfortable.
Well, and sometimes it's not even about feeling comfortable. You and I were having the conversation before we started recording. I'm just lazy. I don't want to leave the house. So if I can stay home and shop local from my phone or from my computer, I am all in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's easy to go onto a store like JCPenney's or Kohl's, but being able to shop locally and support your small business owners on your phone, for people that don't like going out into stores or leaving their house and putting on real clothes.
Do you find that a lot of your small businesses that are participating, did they already have an online presence, or do you think they bumped that up because of COVID and now they're really rocking and ready to go for Small Business Saturday?
Yeah, so a good portion of our stores bumped up their online presence. I know stores like Virginia's Gift Shop created an entire option to shop online. Hunt and Peck always ships stuff out. But, a lot of different businesses adapted as best as they could. Some businesses chose not to do online, but they haven't really suffered too much. So, it really just depends on the business owner.
I've been reading a lot recently about advertising from a marketing and an advertising perspective for small businesses to potential customers. And I'm hearing that the number one thing that customers want to hear and want to know about is, if I do come into your store and physically shop there, what COVID-19 precautions are you taking? And I'm sure a lot of these that didn't go online have really kind of stepped it up from a safety perspective.
Yeah, so the stores that didn't go online have done other things that they can to make their customers feel safe in order to be able to get them to come in and shop. So, everyone, even the ones that did go online, have really stepped up, cleaning, social distancing, wearing masks. But the ones who didn't go online, you've definitely seen more of a step up with that kind of stuff.
So what kinds of things are you going to be doing for Small Business Saturday? I mean, how does that work from the chamber perspective? Do you just put out and say, hey, this is what we're doing? The businesses come to you and say, I want to participate? Or do you guys do the legwork and go out to them and say, hey, we're doing this. Do you want to be a part of it?
So that is more of LDI and the county. Liz Lewis with the Economic Development and Tourism Department. They do a lot of the reaching out to businesses. The chamber does more of the promotion, like Facebook posts, Instagram stuff, trying to get the word out as much as possible. And this year it's different because we actually, instead of just one day, we're doing it for almost an entire month. It is going to run from November 28th to December 21st.
Which is kind of cool. And are you doing something different every day? Is it something different every week, every weekend? How are you working that?
So the way it's working is any day between the 28th and the 21st, the option for shopping and sending us your photos is there. So you have, as many chances to win as often as you shop. The different towns are doing different things. The Shenandoah associations, like the Heritage Association, they're doing a dinner and a Christmas tea. The town of Stanley always does a breakfast with Santa, and then the Christmas parade. The town of Luray is doing movies on Main, tree lighting, a Christmas parade, and then all three towns are doing shop late, open till 8, where the week before Christmas, or the 2 weeks before Christmas, stores will stay open later.
So that makes it easier for people to get out and come in if they're working all day and then want to go out somewhere. Even if they've bought it online ahead of time, they can come out to pick it up. So that makes it a little bit nicer.
Yeah, and it's going to really help a lot of people who, aren't comfortable going out, who can't go out, people that want to support small businesses but aren't sure. It's going to help those people be able to help our local business owners.
And the big thing that people need to understand and realize too, you mentioned a second ago, it is really easy to go online to Penny's or Kohl's, Walmart, Amazon Prime days are happening right now as we're recording it and as people are listening. But that money doesn't come back to your local community. That money doesn't help support your local animal shelters. It doesn't help support your local community as a whole the way it does when you're shopping in these businesses that are owned by local people.
Yeah, shopping at these big box stores is great. You can find a lot of things you might not, find at small mom and pop shops, but there's just something special about going into a store and someone knowing your name or knowing your parents and saying, hey, how are your mom and dad doing? And the more you support small businesses, the more you encourage more people to start them themselves.
And I think right now in the middle of this pandemic, it's even more important than it's probably ever been in the history of Small Business Saturday, because we're seeing on the news that so many of these small businesses are closed. They closed initially because of the shutdown, and they're not going to reopen. I mean, it's a staggering percentage of businesses that are never coming back. And some of these small businesses that we're talking about here could be teetering on the edge, and it could be the difference between them reopening in January or not if you don't spend some money and shop locally there this season.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that usually don't shop local. They go to the big name stores and they've started buying more local things because while they may not utilize it, they know a lot of people enjoy being able to shop local.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about Small Business Saturday. I know the Chamber has a couple of other things that are going on. We can plug next week's show for Tourism Tuesday as well. Can we do all of that when we come back?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation on the Zoom screen today with Edie from the Luray Page Chamber of Commerce. It is the Valley Business Today as you are listening to the show, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes.
Do you know anyone who is struggling with financial hardships because of coronavirus? Our new webinar called Coping with the Money Crunch can help. We'll talk about immediate options to consider, revising or creating a spending plan, and lots of community resources. Then we'll cover how to narrow your priorities, contact creditors, and avoid scams and risky loans. The webinar is free, and you can either join by phone or through Zoom on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can find out more by visiting the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program on Facebook or calling Karen Poff at 540-635-4549. Let me show you how to make your own plan or help someone you care about get through the crisis. Call 635-4549 or visit at NSV Financial Education on Facebook today.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday. Happy Valley Business Today Wednesday. As you are listening to the show today, we are pre-recording on a Zoom screen with Edie from the Luray Page Chamber of Commerce. Edie, in the first segment, we talked a good bit about Small Business Saturday, which happens the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and the value that not only people who shop in small businesses get from doing that, but the business owners themselves. So tell me again, what is Small Business Saturday going to look like in Luray Page County?
So in Page County, Small Business Saturday is going to be running for an entire month. It will be November 28th through the 21st. Usually we would give out bingo cards and you just have each shop sign it when you left. But this year we actually are doing it where you go shopping at a local place, take a picture, send it to us. If you shop online with local stores, take a screenshot, send it to us, and you will be entered into a drawing for prizes.
Now, how do they send you the picture? Do they put it on social media and use a hashtag? Do they text it? Do they email it? How do they do that?
So to send us your pictures of you shopping during the Shop Small every day during the month, you just send an email to events@luraypage.com.
Well, that makes it easy enough. And then every time you do one of those photos, it enters you in for a drawing?
Yep.
So the more you shop, the better your odds.
Yeah.
And then what can I win?
I'm not sure about the prizes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be gift cards.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And for other information, we are going to be creating a shopping page on Facebook that will have a ton of information. You all can also go to pagecobuyslocal.com.
I like Pageco Buys Local. That's kind of cool.
Shout out to Liz Lewis for that.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, and I like the fact that you're doing it for an entire month, because we all have crazy shopping patterns. We're hearing that a lot of people are shopping earlier this year, but the fact that I can start, and as I randomly realize I need to get something for somebody, I can just go do it, and I haven't missed out on something because I didn't just do it on that Saturday.
Yep, exactly.
Cool beans. Well, I'm going to have to get a list of you. I'm going to have to go do some serious shopping myself and take pictures of opening the boxes when they ship it to me.
Well, I like things with corgis, so keep that in mind. Christmas is coming, and so is my birthday.
Okay, well, and I like things with caffeine and most anything orange. So there we go. We're solid both ways.
I've already got you covered.
So what else is going on chamber-wise? Do you guys have, because you guys are doing hybrid events now. Some things are online, some things are in person, and some things are a combination of the two.
Yeah, so every Tuesday we do an online coffee and conversation with different members. Actually, for the entire month of October, we've been doing it on shopping small and ways that small locally owned shops can boost their sales through the holiday season. And then we have our in-person events like our business after hours and annual meeting this month. Business after hours is the same as usual. We're going to have food and wine from Wisteria. It's going to be at Hawksville Recreation Park in Stanley. And then that is going to be followed by our annual meeting. Since our annual banquet was postponed, we're doing the business meeting so that we can vote in new board members.
Which is kind of cool because it gives you a really good way to meet who's who within the chamber board and know what's going on and that sort of stuff. I bet it was a bummer, though, to have to reschedule the banquet, because isn't that usually at the Mimsland and it's got really good food and you get to dress up all fancy to a theme?
Yeah, that's our big fancy event for the year. I think we've postponed the dinner portion to the spring, though, so at least we can still have that.
We can do a spring fling.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea. And we should do it like a 60s theme so we can all wear poodle skirts and ponytails.
We actually did the 1950s last year, so I think it would be a different theme.
Okay. I missed it last year. I forgot about that.
Way to go, Janet.
So are business after hours open to people who aren't chamber members? Or what's the rule on that?
Typically, business after hours is mainly for chamber members. We do allow prospective members to come once for free. So it's more of a member event, but we do other events that are open to the public. Like at the end of the month on the 22nd at 3:30, we are having a ribbon cutting for the grand reopening of the Valley Cork. It's under new ownership. So that will be at 3:30. Anyone from the public is welcome to show up, and then you're invited to stay and enjoy everything that the Cork offers.
We were talking during the break about their grand reopening and new ownership, because we did a show there together in person before this pandemic hit and had a great time. And now we're thinking we should get a do-over because it's a whole new owner and we should have to go out and do it all over again.
Exactly. You know, we can try the wine and we can try the good food that they have now.
I think that is a win-win all the way around. So
I'm glad you like my way of thinking.
who do you have coming up as our Tourism Tuesday guest next week?
So for next week, we have Jessica Halstead Turner. She owns Escape 211.
And that's an escape room, because she's done the show before. So I'm curious to see how that's been going, because I'm sure COVID hit her pretty hard.
Yeah, it did. You know, she had to close down for most of it. She wasn't allowed to reopen until phase 3.
So we're going to talk to her next Tuesday. Anything else I need to know? Because I know you're going on vacation. I'm not even going to have access to you. You're going to have an ocean view and not even give me a second thought in your brain.
Oh, stop. You can still text me. Yeah, so I actually leave on the 24th. So I am working real hard to get everything done. But yeah, we don't really have that much else going on right now. You know, it's kind of starting to slow down. People are starting to flock back a little bit more to see the leaf change, but it's been pretty steady.
So what are all your social media stuff and your website if people want to keep up to date on what's happening with the chamber?
So to keep up to date, your best bet is going to be to visit us on Facebook. Just search Luray Page County Chamber of Commerce. Visit Luray Page County as well. And then if you head to our website, visit luraypage.com, we have a community calendar that has our events as well as events that are going on with other people in the community.
So if somebody in Page County is listening right now and they have an event they want to make sure gets included, they don't have to be a chamber member. They can just send that to you and you'll get it included on that community calendar.
Yeah, as long as you send it to me, I can get it on the community calendar. The only events that we promote on social media are from our members, but we do try to get the word out about events that we have information for.
But they have to get it to you before the 24th because you're not going to be looking at that stuff when you're on vacation.
No, I'm going to have my phone on silent most of the time.
Well, Edie, thank you for taking some time to meet me on the Zoom screen today. As always, I do appreciate it.
Always, it's a pleasure.
We will be back for a brand new episode of The Valley Today tomorrow. It is Valley Health. It is part of our community health partnership with Valley Health. I'm going to be talking with some physical therapists tomorrow and hopefully getting some tips for all of us that are working from home, sitting hunched over our kitchen tables. Our desks have become our beds in our bedroom. Get some tips for how to not make those aches and pains be taking over our life a little bit. So meet me back here tomorrow, just a few minutes after noon, and I will have that show ready to go for you.